Hello friends, I am Dr. Avijit Majumdar, Professor and Director of Noida Institute of Engineering and Technology Pharmacy Institute. Today discussing the topic of drug purchasing, which is a topic under the subject of pharmacy practice, which is a subject code of BP 703T, studied mainly in the B Pharm 7th semester of the curriculum of pharmacy under APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University. Now, today in our class we will be discussing about what are the functions of purchasing, what are the factors which influences the buying policies, why this purchasing is of so much importance nowadays, what are the various methods of purchasing which we need to follow. Then we will be studying about what are the steps of purchasing. Now, whenever we are talking of steps of purchasing, the first and foremost thing which comes up in our mind is what are the terms and conditions for our purchase, and depending on the terms and conditions we should have to prepare a purchase order. Then this purchase order is to be given to somebody, somebody who will be supplying the items. So, selection of supplier is of very important nowadays, particularly if you are working in a industry in the divisions of material management, very much important. So, you should identify the proper supplier. There are various factors which we need to consider, and whenever we are selecting the suppliers, sometimes we have to give a credit, they are giving us a credit. So, what are the factors which are to be considered while giving a credit? Now, let us begin with what do we mean by the term purchasing of drugs. Purchasing of drugs basically starts from framing of the buying policies and ends with the receiving, stocking and final payment to the supplier. The entire gamut of activities which we carry out is coming under the domain of purchasing of drugs. So, let us read it again. Purchasing of medicine starts with framing of buying policies and it ends with the receiving, stocking and payment to the supplier. This is all coming under the jurisdiction of purchasing of drugs. So, let us study what are the functions of purchasing in the current context. First is we have to frame a very effective buying policies. So, preparation of the buying policy, framing of a buying policy is of utmost importance. Then we need to determine the demands and the desires of the customers, what the customers want. Once you are determining the demands, it may be from a primary source, it may be from a secondary source. So, but whatever the source is, we need to determine the demands or the desire of the customers, because it is the customer satisfaction which is of utmost priority, utmost importance. Next is, after you are determining the requirement from the customer perspective, next you have to ensure that there is a best source of supply. Now, what do you mean by best source of supply? The person from whom you are taking, they should be in a position to give you at the right time, at the right place, at the right cost and right quality. Therefore, in order to ensure this, we need to determine and negotiate the terms of purchase. And whenever we are negotiating with the terms of purchase, you are floating what we are calling as purchase order. And after receiving the purchase order, the supplier will go through it and then he will be collecting the items, receiving the items from various areas and then stock the items, then finally handing over to you. That is, the goods will be transferred from the supplier to the buyer. and this involves that we need to make the payment time to time for availing maximum discount. Otherwise, what will happen? If you are making a payment at a much delay, so automatically your discount will be cuddled down by the supplier. So, these points are very important for you. Now, let us see what are the parameters, what are the purchasing parameters which we need to follow. First is, it should be from a right source, it should be of a right quality, we should not never sacrifice with the quality of goods. The right quantity needs to be supplied at a right price. They should be supplied at a proper time. It is not that today they are taking up an order and they are taking months together to supply it out. So, right time is of utmost importance. There should be a right place of delivery, that is, they should be delivered in a area where it is asked for. Then is they should use the right mode of transportation. They should be, the supplier should supply it in such a way that the pharmaceutical items, they are not crushing with each other and they are undergoing breakage. So, right mode of transportation should be used, right material, right contract, and above all right attitude. Right attitude means after sales service is of very utmost important parameter which we should consider. Now, these are the various purchasing parameters which are to be considered when selecting a proper supplier. Now, let us come to the buying policy. I have told you that framing of buying policies are very important. Whenever we are framing the buying policy, we should keep two main perspectives in mind. What is the objective for our store? Say, for example, you have set up a store. Now, you are buying the items from the suppliers. So, first is you should keep in mind what is the objective of the store, and two, what are the requirements of the customers. So, first let us study on what are the objectives of the store. You should exploit the various schemes which are available, so that you are getting the maximum discount. Next is, you should keep the minimum inventory with you, because automatically you know that every drugs and pharmaceuticals have a shelf life. If unnecessarily it is lying in your store and it is getting an expiry period, it is not good. So, you should keep the minimum inventory or optimum inventory, I should say, and give orders only near the end of the month. Try to purchase the drug from the manufacturer, because the manufacturer will give you the maximum discount which is possible. Next, you should determine the requirement of the patients, requirement of the customers, and in order to note the requirement of the customers, you should do what is called a prescription audit. The prescription needs to be studied. The disease profile across the period of the year needs to be followed. Now, you know, in some areas, in some diseases are more prevalent in a particular time of the year, and those medicines have to be kept in your store much above the normal inventory level before those periods starts. Say, for example, let me give you one or two examples. Say, diarrhea disease is more prevalent particularly during the monsoon. Therefore, anti-diarrheal drugs we should have a good stock in hand before the monsoon starts. Medicines belonging to the treatment of the cough and cold, which is more prevalent when there is a change of the session, particularly during the winter, we should have a high level of stock in our hand, because the demand is more. What I basically mean to say is, by this we should know what is the demand during a particular period of month. and accordingly we need to preserve it out. Next is promotional efforts of company in that area, and finally needs of the people in the surrounding areas. These four factors you should keep in mind whenever we are framing the buying policies. Now, question is, I have told you that certain diseases are more prevalent in a particular point of the year. So, how to get that information, or how to get the information regarding what is the requirement of the customer, what is the requirement of the patient, what is the requirement of the physicians. So, there are two ways, one is inside, another one is outside. Inside means the data which you are having with you. Say for example, the past sales data, data regarding to the returns of the goods and adjustments. Say for example, you are purchasing a huge item and then you are seeing that majority of the items are coming to the expiry period and then you are returning them back. Customers inquiry, one slip, suggestion, one book you need to keep, where the customer will be writing that this is the medicine which I require, or you will be noting it down and then fulfilling the requirement. And fourth is the suggestion. These are all as far as the internal source of information is concerned. Next is the external source. External source includes the salesman's offering and suggestions, data obtained from the health magazines and journals, market research which are carried out on customers' need, national and local advertisements of products, and what are the offerings of the competitors. This you need to keep in mind, because you need to see what the other people are doing. You should keep your eyes and ear wide open. Whatever, say for example, if you are giving a discount of 5% and you are seeing that some stores they are giving about 15 or 10% discount, what will happen? The people will automatically move from your store to that store where 10%, 15% discount is available. Therefore, you have to have a very clear understanding what the other competitors are offering. Therefore, this inside store and both outside store requirement need to be collected so that you are having a very good database. Now, there are various factors which need to be considered for selecting the source of supply of drugs. As you know, the drugs are mainly obtained either from the manufacturer of the drug or the industrial house, or the drugs can be procured from the wholesalers. These are the very two commonly available channels of distribution which we generally follow as far as the pharmaceutical items are concerned. Now, let us have a comparative between the two. As far as the product cost is concerned, whenever we are purchasing from manufacturer, it is lower as compared to the one which is wholesaler, because wholesaler will keep a margin on it. Next is the handling cost. The handling cost automatically, whenever we are purchasing from the manufacturer, the handling cost is more as compared to whenever you are purchasing from the wholesaler, because one-to-one contact is very easily achieved. Time in ordering is much more in case whenever you are taking directly from the pharmaceutical houses as compared to that of a wholesalers. Availability of good. This is only, say for example, you are applying for Alembic, you are applying for Anbaxy, you are going to Cipla. So, you will be getting those items which are manufactured by that particular pharmaceutical houses only. Whereas, if we go to a wholesaler as such, you will get products which are from various pharmaceutical houses. Finally, question is, as far as the return of goods, see, you are getting a item at a very low cost from a manufacturer, no problem about it, but the return will be very difficult. Whereas, whenever we are talking of wholesalers, the return is very easily done. So, these two are the major problems or the major points which we need to consider, that is product range of various brands and less difficulty in the returning of items, which makes the retailers more prone to move to the wholesalers when they are procuring these items. Next is importance of purchasing of drugs. It is a very important function of material management. A proper purchase of material and merchandise and control of stock are of great importance in any business, whether it is a manufacturer or it is a wholesaler or it is a retailer. In trading house, the merchandise product must be of proper quality at an appropriate price, in appropriate quantities at an appropriate time. This is a fundamental principle of any purchasing of drug policy. That is, it must be purchased in the appropriate quantity or the appropriate quality at a proper price in a proper time. Not only to provide raw material at the lowest price, but also to reduce the cost of the final product. This is one of the another importance of purchasing of drugs. Now, let us see what are the general methods, what are the general techniques which we follow for purchasing of items. It is not restricted to pharmaceutical, that is the general process of purchasing of items. There are 4 processes. One is by inspection, second one is by sampling, third one is by description, and fourth one is by grading. Now, let us discuss one by one. By inspection means it is the very oldest method, that you will be inspecting the quality of the item, you will see the price, and if the price is within your budget, you will go for it. Method is still used in wholesale as well as retail trade. Next is by sample. The pharmaceutical houses, various houses, they provide small samples. The customers are using that samples. If they are satisfied, okay, they will be going for that particular item. The buyer examines the sample and place the order for the supply of goods as per the quality which is provided in the sample. What I mean to say is, just a small sample specimen will be provided. The customer will be using that sample specimen. If they are satisfied, they will simply approve the sample and purchase the item. Very common method. The sample of goods is supplied by the supplier for its approval from the buyer. Next is description, mainly for the industrial items. There is a presence of a catalog with its price which is available with the supplier, where the detailed description of the item is required or they are mentioned categorically. These are the parameters which are there in the catalog and the price is mentioned. So, what we do is we are quickly going through that particular brochure and then selecting as per our requirement. It refers to the purchase of goods made on the basis of description of the goods in the catalog or the price list of the supplier, and finally is by the grade. As we know that there are ISI mark, there are IP mark, USP mark. So, the goods which are standardized and graded are purchased in required quantity. Next is purchasing. The purchasing generally comprises of the following step. The first step is we need to recognize our demand, what we need actually, how much quantity we need. So, the requirement must be generated from various sources. Sources means if we are running a pharmaceutical area where say we are running a production floor or we are going for simple this drug store. We need to generate the requirement. Recognition of requirement is very important. So, the first stage is we need to recognize our requirement, how much we require. Next is, after we are getting the requirement, the next step is we need to identify the people who will give your quotation, and at least 3 or more quotations are generally preferred. After you are getting the quotations, you need to make a comparative statement. Say for example, for a particular item or a group of items, there are 3 suppliers who have quoted you. Now, you need to make a comparative chart. Then very careful scrutinization of this purchase order has to be done, and then we have to select one supplier, and that selection of supplier depends on a large number of factors which we will be discussing very shortly. But generally we do it on the basis of the quotation given, the reputation, the financial condition of the supplier, the capacity to supply within a certain period of time, and the payment conditions which are provided by the supplier when giving the quotations. So, whenever they are quoting, they give you certain terms and conditions which we need to follow. After selecting the particular supplier, we need to place the order, which we are calling as the purchase order. Now, the purchase order is prepared, they are placed. 2 copies generally goes to the supplier, 1 copy goes to the store in charge, 1 copy goes to the purchase department, and 1 copy goes to the finance section under the supervision of an account in charge. Next, follow up of the order. The order needs to be follow up, that within a certain period of time the items will reach you. After the items has reached you, you need to carefully inspect those items whether they are as per as the terms and conditions of the order. Then if it is up to the desired mark, you will take it. If you are saying that some items are deteriorated or they are broken down, we need to return it out and putting a mark on the invoice. Then you have to check the invoice and the bills, followed by the recording of the bills are to be recorded in a register, and finally payment is to be done to the supplier or the manufacturer or on the vendor relationships. Now, purchasing procedure, whatever we have studied, there are some additional points which we need to highlight. Once the order is placed and goods arrive in the store, each invoice should be checked for its appropriateness, quality and quantity. We should see whatever they have quoted, they have supplied. The goods are then marked with the proper code, number and classified according to the various storage systems which we have. Once the business starts growing, one needs to identify the consumption of each product, that I am telling repeatedly. Depending on the consumption, you will have to place the order. Turnover is the measure of sales and is equal to the number of times an article is sold and replaced over a certain period of time. Generally, a good businessman always studies the market trend continuously, so that he should be in a position to forecast the trend well in advance. Now, let us see what are the parts of a purchase order. What are the main items of a purchase order? The purchase order is an official document issued by a buyer committing to pay the seller for the sale of the specific products or service to be delivered in future. The advantage of the buyer is the ability to place an order without immediate payment. Today, you are placing the order, you do not have to pay anything unless it is specifically mentioned. Advantage of the seller is a purchase order is a way to offer the buyer's credit without any risk. The seller is convinced that okay, you will be taking the goods because you have signed the purchase order. It is basically a sort of a deal. Purchase order is a way to offer buyer's credit without risk, since the buyer is obligated to pay once the product or the service is being delivered. The following points should generally be taken into consideration whenever we are preparing the list. Number 1, the reputation of supplier in the market, financial condition of the supplier. It should not be that the supplier has taken the order and then he is not having the financial resources to meet up your requirement. Manufacturing capacity of the supplier, capability of the supplier to supply, after sale service which should be provided by the supplier, and terms and conditions of the payment. Let us see what are the components which are present in the purchase order. A purchase order generally has mentioned in it the following parameters: quantity to be purchased, product or service to be purchased, brand name or model number, price per unit, delivery date, delivery location, the billing address, the payment terms and conditions, that is how many days credit facilities has to be given, or after how many days you will be getting the money back. Now, generally we need to identify the terms of purchase, basically three more important things which I would like to highlight before I go to the end. One is the discount, the second one is the credit facility, and third is the returns of good policies. These are very important points as far as the purchase order is concerned. First is discount. Buyer always wants a discount facility. We have basically four types of discount. One is called a trade or a financial discount. Trade discount is given to those business houses which perform the marketing activities. Quantity discount, we are giving, say you will get, say for example, in shampoo you will find that within a 100 ml container giving you 10% or 20% extra. That is just increasing the amount of the item which is present. This policy differs from one manufacturer to the other. Cash discount, they are giving a 1 to 2% discount on the items which you are purchasing. And serial discount, rather than just offering a discount one after, they are keeping certain criteria. After one criteria is met, they are giving a certain amount of discount. If two or more criteria are met, the discount proportion gradually increases. And now, as far as the credit facility is concerned, in pharmaceutical marketing for established houses, between the wholesaler and the manufacturing or the manufacturer or the pharmaceutical house, basically a 45 days credit is generally followed. Whereas, when a wholesaler give it to the retailer, they give it a 21 days credit facility. Today you take the item, but you pay the money within 21 days. For a new wholesaler and a retailer, such credit facilities are sometimes not given because they are not knowing each other. See, the development of rapport is very much important. Now, as far as the third policy as the returns of good is concerned, in the price list of the manufacturer, a statement of return of good is mentioned as a part of policy, credit terms, etc. Most goods are returned due to broken packages, damage levels, mishandling of cartoons, time limitations for credit. If you are not in a position to pay within a stipulated time, sometimes you need to return the good. To solve this problem, every store should have a separate area to store such medicines. Register should be maintained for it. If it is a new product, if a new product is not sold within a period of 3 months, sometimes it is returned back for credit. So, credit, let us define how credit basically is looking like. Credit is through which the items are brought or sold without making any cash payment. Whenever any sale deed is done between the buyer and the seller, the terms of payment is also finalized in order to avoid any misunderstanding at a later stage. In pharmaceutical marketing, 45 days credit facilities is provided by most manufacturers to the wholesaler, as I have told you earlier. 21 days credit facilities are provided to the retailers. Advantages for both the buyers as well as the sellers. But when the sale is done on credit, it will increase the sale, but it involves the risk of sometimes bad debts and delayed payments. They are taking a credit and they are not paying in proper time. Factors to be considered before giving a credit is the character of the buyer. The buyer should be honest, reliable, trustworthy, and reputation in the market. Financial position of the buyer, this is done to know whether he is having a strong financial background to meet up the debt in the long run. Assets and liabilities of the firm, this is very important to be considered when judging the state of business. So, finally, we are quickly coming to the summary of what we have discussed. Purchasing start with the framing of buying policies. We have studied about the buying policies which is to be done, considered to be the factors considered for effective supply of drugs. What are the various components of purchase order and factors to be considered while giving credit. With this, I am coming to the end of our today's class. I hope you have enjoyed the class very nicely. Thank you very much. Thank you.